So there you had the situation where you have this happy group of people learning, growing, being taught and instructed by the One Almighty, and having a pretty good time, and looking forward to growing subud communities and development and subi, or pop-up as you say, coming over and visiting, and just a happy life looking us there. But but there were undercurrents, there were things, because of course to have a thriving solid group you have to have a few things. You have to have, first of all, people that when they're doing the worship they have to really step up. You have to understand that this is a real gift from God, from the Almighty, and that you need to really trust God, and you need to have the courage to follow when you're in that state for half an hour, twice a week. You give it up to the Almighty no matter what He can guide you to do. I used to run into walls. I'd run straight towards the wall, and at the very last, I would let go. But at the very last instant, my hands would come up and shield me as I hit the wall, so I didn't get hurt. I'd fall over backwards, fall over frontwards, and I just did it. I never got hurt, never. We had a kid once. He had wanted to do an exercise in his father's basement. There wasn't any light down there. He's visiting, and the guy was remodeling the room. It had nails sticking out all over the walls and different things. He was about to put up some siding or some kind of thing like that. And so the kid, had a good strong exercise, and he was pretty physical, and he was running around. He'd bump up against the walls or hit the walls, and with his hands or whatever. And then he finished studying and he went back upstairs and was talking to his father. And he said, well, his father came down and showed him the room, and he got the lights working again, and there were all these nails sticking out. It was dark, but I mean, he never got nothing ever happened. He never touched any nails or anything. So I mean, no effort, no result, and things started to kind of go south, the way I remember it, there was a turn in 1975. I was in LA, I was in the LA group. Different things happened there. It reminds me a lot of what Christ said. He said, why is it you say to me, my Lord, but you don't do what I say? And when you have a messenger of God, whether he called himself one or not, doesn't matter. Subi said one time, well, if you want to give him accolade or something, probably in the modern times, probably doctor rather than prophet or something like that. It was kind of the old days. In any case, if he would say something, then you should respect it, and not ignore it and take it up. See see for yourself. Does that work? If I don't force things, how is that? If I don't use my will, because I don't know the source of it until later, when he said when it's a human will, then it'll come up and you'll be able to use it again. But how does that work if I don't do that? Many things. If you don't practice it, you don't put it into practice, if you're getting guidance, I don't know why, people would maybe, I don't know what they were doing, but you didn't notice after a while that their exercise would always be the same. And then one of the really terrific, incredible things that happened is to show you how people were not understanding this was real. This is a real gift. They really needed to really do the exercise. I mean, whatever odd thing it might be from your point of view, God wanted to work. It was like a master mechanic. He said, "Give me 4 pints of blah blah blah." And you don't say what for. You go and get it. He knows what he's doing. Trust him. Trust the mechanic. He'll fix your car. Who's an ace mechanic. So one day we got a report from some place where Subud was or something, and he had told someone. He had talked to someone. I don't know if it was informally or what. And he had mentioned that when you developed enough, you would not, all your outer movements would subside, and your body would be more, wouldn't be so physical. It would be more calm outwardly, but inwardly, he said, a lot of things would be going on, and you would, of course, be able to experience those things. And when you got further along, and so at that time the men were doing the exercise. You're talking about, let's say, I don't know, sometime around 1970 or so, maybe 70, close to 75. I'm not quite sure, frankly. But anyway, still a young group. People had only been open since 1957, so less than 20 years old. And so the men, when they did the exercises, it was quite strong. They would run, they would make loud noises and sing loudly, and because it didn't bother anybody else because you were having your own thing. It was wonderful how they could be making a lot of racket in there. It didn't really disturb you. It was coming from their purification. It was all covered, taken care of by the One Almighty. So that's how it was. And so then, this remark that Subi made about when you were more advanced, outwardly you'd be more quiet. A couple of weeks went by, as I recall, not very long. And all of a sudden, you go into the exercise, and all these guys that have been having these strong exercises, now they're all, and particularly the ones that had come in first and were now, supposedly, they were in some kind of position of authority. The helpers. Oh, God help us. But anyway, now they're doing their exercise, and quiet, Allah, Allah, blah, blah, blah. They would do something. No, hardly any, or they would walk, very, calmly and everything else. I noticed, but I didn't do anything about it. I just went on. I still had a really strong physical exercise. But no, they now they're all like, They could stand. They start doing the exercise, stay in the same spot for the whole exercise, something like that. I don't know what they were doing. I didn't realize until later. I didn't hear. I put two and two together. Now the members were not an authority anymore because they were just the members. They weren't helpers. They didn't do testing and blah blah blah. And they would be influenced. You weren't supposed to be influenced by anyone. You're supposed to do your own exercise, whatever it was. Whatever it was. I mean, no caveats, no, I can't do that kind of thing. Now they were being influenced. This is what I witnessed. They were being influenced by these leader types, the helper types, who are just simple, very socially acceptable kind of exercise that we have. And I'll tell you, I felt really sorry for young people coming in, because young people have a lot of things to go through, and they make a lot of there's a lot of physical stuff that goes on with it, and it's necessary. Strong physical movements, dance, running, spinning. My God, we used to spin so fast. Spin, a long time. And now all of this is stopped. No more of this. Allah, Allah, Allah. So those young people that came in were influenced by what everybody else was doing. I can tell you a lot of stories. Anyway, then, so, I mean, and then I can just tell you that, okay, so I didn't do that. I went on doing a rough exercise, seeing, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't concerned about whatever they were doing. I didn't take it up. And I ended up walking. When they walk in circles, maybe going the opposite way. I don't know. Anyhow, no, about 2000, around 2000, so I'd been in subud for 25 years. Maybe around 27. One day, because the Almighty had kind of taken me, I couldn't go to the group at that point. I couldn't go. So of course I still had my exercise still, so I get up every day, and then I'd feel moved to have an exercise for a few minutes. Instead of doing one every half hour, or a half hour twice a week, I would do it a couple, like every day. And it was fun. It was balanced. I only do it for like 5 or 10. It would only go on for 5 or 10 minutes. But one day I was in under an awning. I wasn't really outside. I was under an awning and outdoors. I was having my exercise, and I thought to myself, when it was over, wow, that's really something. I didn't actually do much outwardly at all. I didn't sing. I didn't run around. I was just. And I was going through a lot of stuff. I could feel it. I knew what I knew something about what I was going through. And then it dawned on me, yeah, Sylvia was right. That as the course of things get taken care of, why naturally, you kind of get to that point where that's taken care of, and now you're fine. Your medium feelings, your coarse feelings, all that stuff is being taken care of. Different finer things, and there's no need, necessity for much outer movement. So he was right. He was absolutely right. But you have to go through all this stuff first. I can say, anyway. So anyway, so this kind of stuff was going on before 1975, and then various things started happening. I don't want to go into a lot of history, but it wasn't. And there weren't many people coming in. And then they got in, they come in this kind of odd group of people that stand around and have this exercise, and then it'd all be friendly. It was like hard for outsiders to really switch the culture. The cultures were different in subud and outside of subud. And then there was a whole thing going on about testing. I used to have members come to me and want to test, not too many, a because I wasn't the helper. Still, we were getting talking. I said, well, would you like to do a couple of tests about it or something? Oh yeah, they'd love to. I had good results with those people. It was sort of, but I would only. I had learned. God had taught me. I would only ask questions, things that I was moved to ask, whatever they might be. I'd ask that question, and I'd only do like three tests usually. Usually has something to do with like attitudes or what am I doing, blah blah blah, what's happening, and what's my attitude, what should it be, blah, 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 stuff like that. So it'd be first you kind of find yourself cleaning out, you state it would come up your attitude and you see it, yeah, that's my attitude, and then you receive what it should be, and that would always be. I think once I tested. My attitude was really close to what it should be, but the rest of the time it was quite far off. Different content, different feeling. That attitude I had that I worked so hard, I thought it was so good, it was the right attitude. No, it was far off. Anyway, I do testing with those kids. We have good results. They'd be happy about it. Anyway, so I don't know if I want to talk too much about the dark times, but I can tell you one thing. I remember in 1975, I was driving on the Hollywood Freeway, and up until that moment, everything seemed to be going forward. It was good. Life was good. Subud was going to grow, it was going to develop, and things were going to go well. And as I was driving on the freeway, I came up over a hill, and as I started going back down the hill, I felt a change. Something changed. I kind of got, I don't like to use these kind of words, but it was kind of like, it went from light to not so light, more sort of, oh my God, I'm almost full for a day. I got sort of, no, not good. That wasn't horrible. This is like, whoa. The light, some of the light went out and it's kind of went the other way a little bit. Oh, we made the wrong turn, something. Yeah, 1975 that happened. And things did pretty much, of course, at the time we were living through it, there was a lot of distraction. Everything we didn't really notice too much. Things started to go south, as they say. The bank didn't work out. The Nugraha didn't work out. The helpers were bickering among themselves, and Subi was spending a lot of time with them. Meanwhile, he's still giving these marvelous talks. His state condition was so good. Giving great advice, and just the best, just the best things, and just kind of little things. You'd be talking offhand, he'd say something, and you go, wow, what was that? You'd think, oh my God, that's right. Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? You'd have the insight, marvelous stuff. Then, for example, there was a guy, I don't know if I should talk about this. It's a little complex, maybe. Well, there was a guy in Germany, Richard Engels. He was very dynamic. He was very enthusiastic about Subud. They had a big group there in Wolfsburg, in Germany, and they were having plays and everything else. They were doing all kinds of things. And very active, strong, maybe probably the strongest group in the West as far as their enthusiasm and their dedication. Large group. Germans. Anyway, Subi went there one day and he said, if you keep doing all this group stuff together, you won't be able to have so much of your own personal understanding of who you are or something. He said something to that effect. You can look it up if you want. Something to that effect. And you know, the next day, they took it so much to heart that they stopped. They stopped having all their group activities together and all this stuff, and they kind of went off, and we never heard from them again. I never heard anything much about the Germans after that happened. I don't know what happened to Richard. People weren't coming in, people were dropping out. Because, as I say, the important things is to have, the most important thing is that you would actually have the courage to do your actual real exercise, no matter where it took you. No matter what ghastly things, movements you might make, or gross things you might say, or whatever. You had to be not influenced, not telling the king, oh no, don't touch that tire, don't do anything. No, you say whatever you want. That's what you tell the Almighty, what your attitude should be. Whatever you want, I'm good for it. Then you get your Latihan changes. Over the years, it doesn't just stay in one place, and it changes and it develops, and all kind of wonderful things. It's wonderful to be restored to, go back to where you once belonged. I mean, it's wonderful to be restored back into having kind of attitude, more noble attitude. Really feeling, well, this is what I want to do. I feel like I want to help people, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and you have a feeling of love for mankind, which you can get from doing. Came in the fast. I do the fast every year. I was commanded to do the fast. Then people stopped doing it. Less and less we come to the group and do the fast together. You have to be where there ought to be 2 or 3 people there. And I heard, well, I don't know, they figured out some way not to do the fast, but I never did, so I'm still doing the fast. I still do it every year. I'm 82, and I still do the fast. And what I found from doing the fast is that you absolutely need it, because during the year, you kind of have a set of attitudes that you come to and feelings and stuff that you have. And some are good, some are maybe not so good, they're a little bit off. So when you do the fast, it's like one of these automotive books, a complete breakdown, tear down. They take down the whole car and they put it back together again. The fast is like that. It'll break you down, and then when you have the rebuild, and then during that period you'll feel, you'll be reminded, you get reminded of things you've been doing wrong, and you feel bad. And then you get insights. Oh, what about that? You think, maybe that's not, I accepted it before, but now let's look at that. Maybe that's not quite right. And sure enough, you get an insight. So by the time you got through the fast, not to mention the wonderful things, the other things, many things that can happen in fast. I'm not going to go all over the place with that. But by the end of the fast, I've been doing it now, I don't know, probably 50 some odd times, and you would feel refreshed, physically refreshed, and ready to take on the next year. Bright. It's like you had a good shower and all cleaned up. It's great. It's the only way to fly. I mean, how can you have a fancy car? The human thing is so intricate, and you don't, what is it they call maintenance? You don't maintain it every year. You have to take it into the shop. You have to get it all cleaned up and change the lubricants, a bunch of stuff. That's what the fast does. And so it's important. But a lot of the members stopped doing it. They had other things, they didn't, whatever, I don't know. But every time in the ensuing years that I've asked stupid brothers about, well, so how's it going with the fast? How many people are doing the fast? And they would say, there would be a pause, and they would say, well, not very many, you know. So, you know, it didn't, subud did not establish itself. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that. It appears that subud has not established itself on the earth. And then Subi up and died on us. He had told us, I mean, you know, beyond any expectation, because he died when he was 87, on the dawn of his, he died just before his next birthday started, so as far as I know, he never saw the light of the day of his 88th year. He died just at dawn. Isn't that incredible? Just at dawn. But he had told us earlier that he would either die when he was 67 or when he was 117, he said. And that the Almighty had other plans for him, so when he didn't die when he was 67, well, he's going to be around for a long time. So when he died at 87, it was a tremendous, it was a big, oh God, you know. So we went on. I'm not going to go into the details. I got somebody coming in. I'm going to have to continue this talk a little while later. Okay. So this is part 5, and there'll be a part B of part